Welcome to the Archery Show. It's July and the month that we should have been headed to Tokyo for the 2020 Olympic Games. They've been delayed until 2021, and we've talked to some international archers about how that postponement has affected their lives. We're also looking back in the past, with exclusive footage of a head-to-head match shot just before it was introduced to the sport at the highest level. And Vanessa Lee will talk us through some very simple steps that can help reduce the risk of injury when practicing archery. But before we get to that, this month brought the sad news that due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, the 2020 Hyundai Archery World Cup would be officially cancelled. It's taken many months of work to come to a decision, but with many travel restrictions still in force, the hosting of a truly international series of events would just be impossible.
There is many factors to consider. The fact that we have certain agreements with broadcasters, with sponsors. Athletes also have agreements with sponsors, so it's not easy, but I think we did a thorough consultation process with all our member associations, with our coaches committee, especially with our athletes committee, and also with some of our sponsors.
World Archery will still begin recognising world ranking events from the 1st of September as part of a transition period that will run until the start of next season.
We want to go forward because we want to bring athletes back on the archery field, and we go forward step by step by putting in place the right measures, by having competitions in areas where people can travel, and more we will build up to be back fully operational in 2021 in a new environment, because we have to be clear, it will not be like before.
It was announced back in March that the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games would be officially delayed. The new dates announced soon after have the Games now starting on the 23rd of July 2021. For many elite recurve archers who plan their lives in 4-year Olympic cycles, it was a shock to the system.
Pues para mí el retraso de los Juegos significó más que nada un alto a todo lo que habíamos estado, pues la preparación a la que habíamos estado teniendo fue detenerla abruptamente. Y ahorita ya que pasó pues todo esto de la cuarentena y todo esto de estar entrenando en nuestras casas, ha sido como pues también como un poco de desintoxicación de la mente, ¿no? Y lo que queda es más que nada de prepararse para lo que viene el 2021. Yo creo que eso es lo que más pues significó para mí, ¿no? Un poco más de tiempo para prepararnos.
Alejandra qualified a place to the Games at last year's World Championships. She also won the team trials in Mexico and has been told she'll retain that place after the delay. Some nations, like India, who are partway through their selection process, have decided to start their trials again.
ट्रायल्स में फाइट हमेशा रहता ही है, और चाहे वो ओलंपिक्स का हो या चाहे वर्ल्ड कप का हो, बट ओलंपिक्स का ट्रायल का मारपीट कुछ ज़्यादा ही होता है. सो यस, ट्रायल्स भी पोस्टपोन होना पड़ा इसके वजह से, बट मैं हमेशा रेडी रहता हूँ. मैं अभी भी रेडी हूँ, कभी भी ट्रायल करा दो, इट्स ओके फॉर मी. सो लेट्स डू दिस.
Most archers are trying to find the positive in this unusual situation. For some, the benefit is more obvious.
I had a surgery last year, a shoulder surgery, and now I have more time for my recovery. And because I'm still in my recovering process, and I think next year I have more chances to take part on the Olympics. So yeah, now I'm pretty happy about.
2021 Olympics might be different as there will be more competitive, full of energy and excitement, as everyone would be eagerly waiting for this Olympic. But in case of me, it was a great opportunity for me to train hard with good skills to achieve my MQS and to make my country proud.
The disappointment of a delayed Games might have stung for some archers chasing the Olympic dream. But at the end of it all, we'll still get to watch the world's best archers compete in Tokyo.
We're still having the Games, right? or just a year later. That just gives me another year to be in the gym, lose some weight, look a little better for the cameras, and you know, it's not canceled.
And next year Olympic में different मुझे लगता है जैसे हर बार की तरह जिस ब्यूटीफुली के साथ होता है वो होगा, और अगर कुछ अलग होता है तो वो मेरे लिए कुछ नया होगा.
We've been digging in our archives this summer. Among the gems we uncovered was this fantastic footage of a test for the head-to-head match concept that was filmed before it was introduced to the rules and added to the Olympics.
Archery has long been battling with the same problem. While the people behind the bows know how difficult, exciting and rewarding shooting can be, much of what makes the sport so engaging to practice is so small and internal that it's difficult to see. Flashback to 1991, and archery was about to make a big change. The Olympic format was suddenly going head-to-head. This footage is from an exclusive and up until now largely unseen test held in the USA for the Olympic Broadcasting Service so they could learn how to broadcast this new and exciting style of competition.
In the single elimination match play competition, each archer will shoot 12 separate arrows at 70 meters. The scoring works like this. A bullseye is worth 10 points, and then the points decrease as you hit the target farther from the center.
We went from 288 arrows in a marathon to 36 arrows, which was kind of a sprint, to 12. You know, so the mindset change was huge for us. You know, we thought when we went down to 36 arrows at 4 different distances, it was ridiculously short and that one bad arrow would cost you a round, which we of course found out wasn't true. But then when you went to 12 arrows and it was total score, one bad arrow would cost you the round.
Back then, in the good old days, it was called the Olympic round. And that change in archery format saved archery in the Olympic Games. Some loved it, some hated it. The ones who loved it really liked the head-to-head competition, the sudden death aspect, the excitement. Others really didn't have the mindset yet to be able to handle the new round and the new format.
Jay Bars won the Olympic Games in 1988 when the format was somewhere between the traditional hundreds of arrows and the new head-to-head. He also came 5th in Barcelona 4 years later when the modern match made its debut.
Everybody wants to compare something back to the old system, saying, well, that wasn't the true champion. Well, no, he won the tournament, and he won it with the rules that everybody else was playing with, so that's your guy. The archers can complain about it all they want, but if it keeps archery in the Olympics, it's exciting for the spectators, and you crown a champion at the end, you're the friggin' champion.
Close, but he gets it.
Even if you don't understand archery at all, you understand 10 is better than 9. And this guy has 2 more points. There's only 1 arrow left to shoot. Everybody can understand that. So, and it's kept archery relevant in the Olympic Games, and that's the important thing.
The head-to-head round, tested way back in 1991, proved a success. Nearly 30 years later, it's evolved, and the set system is now the standard for recurve competition. But it doesn't look all that different now than it did back in 1991, and one of the first times it was caught on camera.
The winner out of Lake Tahoe, Don Rapska.
Injuries aren't as common in archery as many sports, as its focus is on control and repetition. What's more, there are some simple things that you can do to reduce the risk of suffering one even further.
In the sport of archery, unfortunately, sometimes injuries can happen, even though we do our best to try and reduce the risk of them. With the repetitive nature of our sport, we require a lot of strength and repetitive movements to continue training and competing. Optimizing our strength, range of motion, neuromuscular control, having a good warm-up, cool-down, and optimizing our recovery are all good components of an injury risk reduction program for archery. Sometimes people are surprised to hear that our sport actually requires a lot of strength. If you're shooting a recurve bow at 45 pounds, 300 arrows a day, you're moving over 6 tons of weight in a day. For a comprehensive strength program for archery, you want to start with the ground and work your way up. You want a solid base of support with strong legs. You also want a strong core, so that's from your chest to your knees, 360 degrees. Working our way up, you obviously want a strong upper body. On your bow arm side, you want to be able to control all through the range so that you can draw through the clicker or draw through for your trigger to go off. You don't really require extreme ranges like you might require in a sport like gymnastics, but you do want to make sure that it's optimal. You want to make sure that nothing is restricting you in daily life and also in your shot. We naturally train neuromuscular control by shooting. It's honestly just a fancy way of saying how our brain connects to our muscles through our nervous system. Sometimes people would say practice makes perfect, but that's honestly not true. Practice makes permanent, and that's why it's so important to make quality shots during your practice. We can also train neuromuscular control through other exercises, like scapular control exercises, which give us a better feel during our shots. It's really important to have a full, comprehensive warm-up so that you're targeting all different goals. In order for our muscles to get stronger, they also need appropriate rest as well. To optimize our recovery, you want to make sure you have good sleep habits, a natural and nutritional balanced diet, stress management strategies, and enjoying life outside of archery. You also need psychological recovery. Shooting can be stressful at times, and in order to come back prepared and ready to shoot better the next day, you might want to rest your brain as well. Sometimes, unfortunately, injuries do happen in archery, but we can try our best to reduce their risk. Try to integrate a couple of these strategies and see if they help you.
That's all for this month's edition of The Archery Show. Check the World Archery website for more news as the sport begins to return at the national and international levels following this pandemic. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back next month with more stories from around the world of archery.